Today I'm going to be trying to fix up my greenhouse. It's 10 foot by 11.5 foot, so 115 square feet. It's behind me right here. It's a cattle panel greenhouse leaning against my back of my house, the south side of my house. And hopefully I can get it all fixed up and ready to use in one afternoon. So let's see. Well, I've made this greenhouse out of recycled lumber, and I'll show you in a second where I got this lumber from. And of course, cattle panels that I already had on hand, a few T-posts, and the back of my house. The greenhouse has cost me next to nothing to put together. So here's where I got the recycled lumber from. This old pool deck. There's my gourd harvest for the year, over 100 gourds, and it's next to my big in-ground pool, which I have converted to a catfish pond. I'm sure I'll be making many videos about this in the future. But for now, you can see I pumped the water out of my catfish pond onto my aquaponics garden right here. So here's the sheet plastic that I got last year, and it is non-UV treated, so I made a short little video about that, which basically boils down to I can just get one cold season of use out of this, and then I have to throw it out. Now you see, of course, most people would build a wooden frame up around the outside of the T-post to attach the plastic to. But I'm not going to do that. I found an easier way to make this work, and I did it like this last year and it seems okay, so let me show you. Right, I have this 11.5 foot piece of recycled lumber from my pool deck. I'm going to slide it on the back here underneath the plastic, so I can roll the plastic up from the inside using this. I'm going to attach the plastic to this, and it's going to rest on directly on the cattle panels, which I'll show you how they're held onto the wall, the brick wall, in a second. Okay, let's go in there and see if we can attach this board. Hello, Pussycat. You're going to be getting warm and steamy in here. Meow. Meow. Alright, so I want to get this plastic evenly attached to this. Okay, let me show you how I've attached the cattle panel to the brick wall. Nothing fancy. These are some planks recycled from my pool deck again. I had to drill into my brick and put a cement screw that's gauged to drill into or hold in brick. And it's not easy to drill into brick when you don't have a hammer drill. I just did a regular drill with a diamond tip bit, and it was a lot of work, but that's how I attached it. And then I got another one up top, so I put the cattle panel in between this board and one that's right up here. And then when the cattle panel was in between, I just took some heavy gauge wire and twisted it around this board that's attached directly to the brick wall, twisted it tight to hold the cattle panel onto the board. I got several of them down on every side, on every part, holding it in place. So it seemed to work really good last year through some pretty major storms. Didn't budge, so it should be fine again this year. Oh dear, I've caught my first prisoner, a honeybee. I think I need to see if I can get him out of here. He does not look happy. Okay, hope I can get him here easy enough. Come on. This is harder than it should be. Alright, still didn't get him. Okay, I got him. There he is. into the wild. Go into the... And he's gone. Okay, one more roll. Keep it nice and tight, hopefully. And now for the drill. Alright. Alright. That one's in there. Okay, and for this side of the greenhouse, this outside side of the greenhouse, I got the board that I already attached to the brick last year, and I'm going to take this other board and roll it into the plastic. Okay, so as it turns out, I ran out of time yesterday afternoon. Go figure. Taking longer than I expected to get this plastic attached. Though I did make a good bit of progress. I didn't film it because I was feeling pressed for time. So I'll show you what I got so far and try to finish up. So like I said, most people would build a wooden frame up to the main beams, you know, to attach and reinforce the cattle panel, and then they would also you know, attach the plastic to the wooden frame, and they make a wooden frame door, and that's a lot of work. And so I'm a big fan of minimizing unnecessary work, and so for me it's not necessary. I figured out a way to make nice doors without wooden frame, and I'll show you that. Oh, and I also wanted to point out how I did keep this as one solid piece of plastic. I didn't make one sheet of plastic coming over the front of the greenhouse and one sheet of plastic for this side and one sheet of plastic for that side, because that would also involve, typically, of course, or require you having a wooden frame to attach each sheet of plastic to, which is, again, a lot more work than I thought was necessary. So let me show you how I decided or figured out how to just do this all with one sheet of plastic. Okay, so it may not look too pretty, but I have this continuous sheet, and I just fold it down over the top of the greenhouse. So you can see how I just took that one sheet all the way from the back all the way over the greenhouse, folded it down here, and then of course whenever it's coming down here, all this plastic gets a big fold on the side right here. I'm going to cut part of it off right on the corner here just to make it easier, and then I'm going to roll it up, and see I got a T-post on the outside on there, and on the outside right here. I'm going to roll this plastic up, and then I'm going to roll it around that T-post and clamp it in place. And I can pull that nice and tight so that it's pretty smooth on this end, and of course this side is already rolled up down to the bottom over a board, and it goes the entire length and stapled, and then put wood screws in place to hold that board that has the plastic rolled around it to hold it down flat on the front of the greenhouse. Alright, so I put the more powerful clamp right here. This one has some serious clamping power, pretty heavy duty, and that should keep the plastic from slipping better over time when the wind strains the plastic and stuff. But you see it's pretty smooth on the side. It's got a, you know, wrinkle down there, but it's pretty smooth. And I put, of course, the other clamp, smaller clamp down here. I probably need some more clamps in here. Maybe I'll see if I can find some to help hold that plastic a little bit better. But I did this last year and it worked fine. And so this allows me to get that side good without having to attach it to a wooden frame and do a lot more work. And so sealed off that corner really nicely. And now for the doors, all I'm going to do is slit the plastic up to 6 feet or so high right in the middle of that beam, and get a zipper to stick onto plastic like this for anytime you want to partition a room that you're painting and you want a little zipper door for convenience. You can buy those in the painting sections at hardware stores. But first I got to finish this side over here, and you can see how the plastic is not rolled up at all. It's all pulled out, and I obviously got way more than I should have perhaps, but when I cut it off I'll have a nice chunk of plastic that I can find another use for later on. And so it's actually, you can see, not all that much excess plastic, just a couple of feet right here too long, and there was maybe a couple of feet on the other side at the most that was extra length. But the extra plastic that you can't not have when you do things this way is, of course, when you take the sheet plastic that's coming over the top and you fold it down like wrapping a giant package, and you get this big flap of plastic that just comes out here and is complete excess that you don't need, and you have to cut most of it off in order to roll it and wrap it onto that post. So just wanted to point out that I didn't get the measurement that terrible. I just intentionally made it a couple of feet longer than necessary, and it comes out to be a whole lot more because of the flap. Alright, I got that side pretty well done, I guess, and you can see it's pretty wrinkle free on this side and pretty wrinkle free on the front. I guess I'm not too picky. It may not look super duper perfect or pretty, but it does work. And now I need to make the doors here, and I got some Velcro to use to seal the bottoms of the doors. No problem. Super cheap and easy. So you can see down here from last year, I got these Velcro strips stapled on the bottom of this beam, and then I just put Velcro on the plastic and staple the Velcro on there so it'll actually stay a long time, and then it'll stick on that Velcro, and you can open and close it real easily and seal it really nice on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to try to first reuse some old stuff from last year that I used on the greenhouse. Reduce, reuse, recycle kind of thing. And I don't even have my good stapler. I just have this stapler that may not work well at all for penetrating these several layers of plastic. But I'm going to try anyways. It's just very tedious to get that fold on the plastic just right, to not be too high, and then to staple all that Velcro in place. It's very tedious. So let's see how it opens up, though. I already cut it here, and just open it up like this. So it opens right up. Now what I need to do is get a rope so I can get the rope and hold the plastic up. Probably go a little bit higher on that cut right there. When I have the zipper in place, then I'll be able to just zip it closed behind me, and most of the Velcro will stick on its own down there to seal it up, keep it nice and warm in here. Of course, if you're in a hurry and you don't want to mess with all that Velcro stuff, then may I suggest some homemade sandbags. These are just bread bags from store-bought bread filled up with sand, tied off at the top. Makes a good sandbag, lasts a fair bit of time, you know, a couple of years or so. Well, maybe 1 year if you're lucky. So anyhow, that works great to hold down the plastic at the doors. I had to cut the doorway open to let it breathe in there some, because I had to wait some number of days before I got the zipper here. So, all right, so that was simple as could be to stick that zipper onto the plastic, and then I'm going to put staples on it, because in general, with the previous kinds that I had last year, the stickiness, you know, would come loose after it got exposed to the elements, and so the staples were necessary to hold it on there all season. To the test here. You can see the Velcro opening up down there, and looks good. And now it's stapling time. Just put the staple in there, or right over the staple the plastic. Okay, there you can see staples. Okay, for the bottom of this door, or this side of the little greenhouse, rather than doing the Velcro tape all along the bottom that I staple, that's very tedious. I thought to save a little bit of time, I'm just going to use my bread bag sandbags to weigh it all down on the bottom here and see how that works. So if a bread bag sandbag breaks, like this one just did, when they get old and that plastic gets pretty weak, rather than throwing it out, of course, just put it in a new bread bag. So reusing, you know, some plastic. It's good for the environment, right? On sunny days like today, where it's 60s outside, inside of this greenhouse gets to be ridiculously hot. So I'm coming in here to check it out. I didn't get a chance to open it up yet. It's more in the vent, and it says 101 in here. That's a little bit too toasty, obviously, so let me show you how I do the doors. So after I got them zipped open, then I just open them up, and I got a string tied on the inside with a simple loop on it, and I just looped it around on onto that T-post. It also has the rest of the plastic clamped on it. And so you see, super simple design. I already have some Swiss chard that's been growing in here since last year. And I got a little remnant of some basil right there that's been in the greenhouse and made it through the last several freezes that we've had. So we'll see how I'm going to organize the shelving in here next. Now remember, if you like this video and you've gotten something useful from it, or from any of my other videos, please do like and subscribe. That really helps to share the content, obviously, get it to a wider audience, and thank you.
Super.